Good evening, Hobby World. Thanks for joining us tonight live for episode 42 of Personal Rips and Hobby Chat. Joining me tonight, as always, is Ken from McBean's B Card Blog. I'm Herman, aka 3B Collections. We're here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern to talk about our hobby and yours. Feel free to join in the conversation and chat. Looks like we already got Bo and Boomslang with us. What's up, guys?
I don't know, because I left my dang iPad on, and now I can't get into the YouTube chat. I saw that was a thing. I saw somebody, was it Dan, trying to comment the other night on the round table?
Yeah.
It couldn't be. Yeah. It's a pain. I wish we could chat through here. I don't understand that. Oh, hey, the iPad's firing up. So that's sometimes when you see me looking off to the side, I'm like typing on the iPad.
I don't understand that because I thought you could type in the comments on the side there.
Not when you're on the stream. No, there's nowhere to comment. I can read the comments, and you can type in the private chat. Like I can type to you, and you can see it.
See, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. If you go over to the regular comments, though, which is where you saw that Boomslang, Bo, Safe at Home are all there. There's no chat bar there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Which I didn't. I've only been on my StreamYard, and the only other time I've been on StreamYard was with Tim and Ben and Steph, and I really didn't pay attention. I read the comments, but I didn't really pay attention to whether or not I could chat. And I don't do so good when I'm trying to talk and type at the same time.
No worries.
I do good to do one or the other, not both at the same time.
Well, I do it during breaks, especially on the round table. There's usually, at least a handful of us, so it's a little easier to get in there and do it.
Yeah.
So it seems like everybody had a lot of people had a busy hobby weekend. It was funny you mentioned Shep. I was watching Sports Card Radio did a video from the. It's mostly just video of tables and stuff and ambient sound at Sacramento Card Show, and had a Shep sighting there. I saw that, and then as we know, I was at the Dallas Card Show on Sunday. You had even though you didn't make it to the Atlanta show, you had a busy weekend, as you were telling me just before we started.
Yeah, I had a couple of breaks. Actually tried something new this time. I did one of the usual, like I normally do, to pick one team, get two randoms, filled it, and I had a second box, and I kind of wanted to keep the Braves myself because I've looked, and I tried to get team sets, and I can't find anybody that's actually selling the team sets. I can buy the individual cards and build it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna keep the Braves myself and offer up. And we did was it 6 spots? Everybody took 5 teams, and I tried to space it out where everybody mainly got their team to begin with, then offer up the rest of them as a draft, and that was fun. And I told some of them that was on that the next time we do that, I'd like to get everybody on here and kind of do a live draft on air, like have everybody on screen.
Yeah, gotcha. That could be fun. Yeah, I mean, it adds a little something. It adds a little, personality. Or not personality, but you get what I'm saying. It makes it a little more personal, I guess.
Yeah. That's what I say, and it kind of gives everybody a chance to, somebody's going to get stuck with the Rockies and the whoever, and you get to razz them a little bit and back and forth. Which, the group of guys that breaks for me, I mean, they're pretty good group of guys, and most of them interact on Twitter, outside of breaks, so they know each other and they kind of have fun back and forth. So that's the good part of it. So
yeah, and speaking of your breaks too, I was surprised that, as I mentioned to you, I was live for part of the round table, or I was in the chat, but yeah, I didn't catch until today when I was listening that you passed up some retail at Walmart. I was a little surprised by that. I was like, well, heck, you could have done some breakage with that, maybe.
Yeah, but I was kind of iffy on some of it. I mean, it was Series 2, which it kind of played out. There were Score Select, which I'm not going to pay $20 for a blaster box with 12 cards, and they were
might have been worth trying like $2 a spot though, just random. I don't know.
Yeah, I could have done that, but
I'm guessing was Select baseball or was that football? That's
baseball.
baseball, right?
Well, they
Okay.
had both. They had both.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So Select 2021 football's out or 2020?
2021.
Oh, okay.
I think it
Yeah,
was.
I don't know.
I think football was there. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it was there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't pay any. I mean, you know how little attention I pay to modern anyway, but football is pretty much bottom of the well for me.
There was Panini Contenders was out there, and the Fat Packs. Yeah, Fat Pack or Value Packs, or however they want to word it. And a couple other things, and the only thing I walked away with was a handful of one touches. That's all.
Hey man, do what you want to. I mean, since COVID started, I've only been to a Walmart or a Target maybe 3 times to where I could even look. Like we've got a little Walmart neighborhood market like a mile from my house. So when I go to Walmart, that's where I go. Well, they don't carry cards because they're basically just a grocery. So yeah, I haven't even. I know that the Chronicles Racing came out, I think, late last week, or maybe that's this week. That's something I'm interested in. I wouldn't mind getting a blaster or two of that just to open up because I haven't really opened much in a while. But it is what it is. Man, you kind of froze up there as you were taking a drink. That looked like one long drink.
It probably was. I don't think I
chugged that. Like you just downed that can.
Yep.
All right, but anyway, so yeah, we talked to we chatted earlier. Things to where you want to start. You are the man that runs this whole operation.
All right, we just kind of let it run itself. Oh,
are you saying that neither one of us? Are you saying neither one of us wants to take accountability for what may happen?
Right, we're not responsible for our actions. No, I was going to say though, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but the last when we're talking about the breaks, the Gypsy Queen, the last box I opened last night was you're guaranteed 2 autographs, 4 Captain Minis, 3 Tarot of Diamonds, and there's something else. But the box I opened last night, I actually got 3 autos out of it.
Nice. And that's not even the best break you've had in the last couple months. I thought about it just as we were talking. I don't think we were on the week after you did the Stadium Club break, so there might be some people that don't even know. You want to tell them what you pulled out of one of those Stadium Club boxes?
Oh yeah,
in case anybody didn't see it.
Yeah, the Mike Trout 5 was it 5 of 5 auto, or is it auto out of 5? I can't remember what exactly how it was worded, but it was a Mike Trout auto out of 5, and that went to the Dingo Dog on Twitter. So
yeah,
I want to say now, don't quote me, and I might be wrong. I don't know if he watches this. If he does, he can correct me in the comments. But I want to say he said that was his biggest pull in the break that he's ever been in. I know it's my biggest one.
It would be, if I had the Angels for Stadium Club instead of Heritage, it would have been the biggest one I've ever had.
Yeah.
But womp. I didn't get in. But congratulations to Donnie's his name, right?
Yep, Donnie.
Congratulations to him. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I've got quite a few of them that are pretty regular about jumping in on any of the breaks that I do. And they're pretty. I won't say. Well, I guess you could say loyal. I mean, they use other people, and that's fine. But it seems like they always, every time I post something, I've got a core of like 5 or 6 that'll always. I can count on them to jump in at least one. So we got Rich with us.
Yeah, and it depends. Yeah, you can put loyal a lot of different ways. You can pretty much count me as being loyal for Heritage going forward, but that might be about it. But yeah, no, you do have a great little group of guys that get in there and do those breaks. I mean, you've been filling them up pretty quick. I think that very first Heritage this year, you had a little trouble. It took like an extra day or so, but I feel like you filled everything else up. Even with the prices being a little higher than the last few years, it seems like you've been filling things up pretty quickly.
Was it Heritage?
Heritage, yeah, I think the first one took like 2 or 3 days, and the second one filled up pretty quickly because I was in both. I had Angels in both of those. So
yeah, but there was one that the UPS really messed me up on the last one. What was that? Oh, that was the Stadium Club.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be here that Friday. It didn't show up, and I had to wait all weekend. And I had both boxes filled before they ever got here. And I had like 3 or 4 people backed out on the second box because I didn't have them that Friday. But, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything about it. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't their fault. Wasn't nobody to blame but UPS. I mean, they was here, and they just didn't leave them.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you're honest. You do everything the right way. So, I mean, if somebody wants to back out, it is what it is, and we'll get them filled by someone else.
That's right. So, let's see. Where was we at? Oh, yeah. What were we going to talk about? I'm drawing a blank. I know one was the Dallas Car Show, which you did a video on it, and people can go watch that. But
I did a recap video. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I spent less than a good bit less than I usually spend at a card show, and it was one of the ones I left the happiest from. It is funny how that happens. There have been some card shows that I've been the happiest leaving where I just didn't. There's been some where I didn't spend $1. If you're not finding what you want, what you're working on, and with me having so many different projects and so many different things I do, I go in spells. Like I'm collecting this for a while. Like for a while there, I was collecting T206s. Not really feeling that right now. Right now, all I'm really looking for is Dale Earnhardt stuff. So I went to the show, and 2 things I said I was forward that I would be some Dale Earnhardt stuff if I could find it, and some Blackhawks like Stanley Cup related. They have some championship sets. So what is the first thing I buy? 25 Michael Jordan cards, which was not on the list. Which was not on the list at all. But yeah, if you want to go over and watch the video, I went through, just kind of looked at COMC and then eBay yesterday. Kind of looked at COMC to see what the cheapest available was. Not always a true indicator, but then I looked at. So I got those 25 cards. He had them on the table. He has $1 each for some Michael Jordans. So, there were a few where you could get them for like 75 cents or whatever. But what I was picking was just ones from the sets that I really liked as a kid. Sometimes cards I didn't have. Sometimes the cards I did have. But I think I ended up, after I looked at eBay and everything, had a couple that were probably like $10 to $15 cards. And then I had a couple that were like between 30 and 50. Again, these weren't, mint immaculate cards. They're not going to grade a 10, but it was just fun. I'm not really a big Michael Jordan fan, but I'm pretty sure I got about 400 Jordans now because I bought a bunch last year before the Last Dance on Sport Lots, and then I just ended up keeping them. Never sold them. I mean, they were ones that were only going to get a couple bucks. I
put the link. I put the link to that video in the chat. Okay. If anybody that hadn't saw it can check it out, wants to check it out, they're more than welcome.
But yeah, if you want to look at that, and then I was able to, right toward the end, I got 81 Dale Earnhardt cards for $20. So quarter a piece. I'm not complaining about that. The bad news was I had a Dale Earnhardt. I kind of expected not going to pass off vacation, and it didn't. Again, I'm not upset. Really, I'm not really disappointed because it was going to be more. I was going to be elated if it did pass, and if it didn't pass, it was going to be like, whatever. Sucks to be out $30, but you'll have that. But went Sunday. I usually go on Saturday, so it's not an apples to apples comparison. But I will say I talked to a local guy that sets up at them, and he said that Saturday was slower than the May show. Was it May? Whatever, the last show. But that was also the busiest one ever. But you're talking about you didn't have a whole lot of people flying in because you had the Atlanta show, which a lot of people went to the Atlanta show. And then I know at least there was
one I want to go to. So I wanted to go to the Atlanta show, but I never could find any information on it, so I just never did pull the trigger. So
I guess I didn't realize you were that close to Atlanta. So I did know there was an Atlanta show, so you can blame me. But next time I hear there's an Atlanta show, I'll make sure to let you know. I didn't realize it was that poorly like announced. That doesn't seem like a good thing, but
Right.
it is what it is. But I'll definitely. I was thinking you were like 3 hours. I thought you were like 3 hours from Atlanta for some reason.
Hour and a half. I go to the Spartanburg. I go to the Spartanburg show about every other. Well, I don't go to every one they have, but I go to about like every other one. It is about an hour and a half for me. Atlanta is the same distance.
Okay, all right.
And I would rather go to Atlanta because if I go out there, there's more to do than the car show than Spartanburg. You go to Spartanburg, there's not a whole lot going on out there. So
listen to what Diego just said. Listen to that man. He's smart. He said, "Blame me." That works. That works.
All right, it's all Ken's fault.
But yeah, so I mean, attendance again. He said attendance was down, but he still did pretty well. There were people that, I've watched some other videos, and they said they talked to people. Some did real well. Some, I guess, there were some. And again, this is secondhand knowledge, so I'm not quoting this as gospel, but some. Yeah, well, you know what I say about that guy. That guy can eat a big bag of dicks. But anyway. Where was I? Oh yeah, but I mean, apparently some people did real well. Some people, it was a bad show. I will say that Sunday I saw a lot of people I saw a lot more boxes to dig through and stuff this time than I did at the last one. And a lot of people had marked those down significantly. I saw one people where it was discount slabs. I can't remember what the exact word was, but there did seem to be but again, I'm usually not there on Sunday, so I don't know if that's a typical. I mean, I know it's a big show, so people are traveling. I bought those 80 Earnhardt cards off of a couple that comes to every Dallas show, and they're in Florida. They're based out of Florida. So, they're trying to get rid of bulk when they can. But yeah, it was definitely down, but I mean, that's to be expected a couple weeks before the National or a week before the National. And again, with the big Atlanta show, a lot of people went there. And I know Sacramento had a show, not that it was a huge, to the size of Atlanta or Dallas, but still, there's other shows all around the country.
Well, then, not to mention too, you got the National come up, and a lot of people are kind of pulling I'm going to save up until the Nationals, so they just didn't go at all, Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, it was kind of to be expected, and I think it was Brad may have pointed out this morning on his stream, and he said it, and I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, this was also kind of up to be almost if the National hadn't happened this year, this would have become the de facto National. So it just so happened that, things got contained in Illinois. They're going to be able to make it happen. But if the pendulum had swung the other way, this would have been the National, and this would have been, more ridiculous than the last show was. So, it was what it was. There was a little bit of excitement. Did you hear about the excitement of the theft?
Briefly.
So I heard.
I know the gist of it. I know somebody had walked away with was it a Mahomes 101?
So let's say first Sunday, I heard some people talking, and there wasn't just one. So there might have been a Mahomes. The one I know about, the story, and this actually made our local news. I shared it on Twitter a little bit ago. So a guy stole a Luca. I'm assuming it was graded or serial numbered, both, whatever. Saturday. Went back Sunday to try to sell the card at the show. Everybody knew the card. Everybody that was setting up knew the card had been stolen. But yeah, so that, like I said, that even made the local news. So there was excitement there. He got arrested. Handcuffed, escorted off of the premises, and not sure if he's somebody's boyfriend now or what's going on.
And the card returned to the rightful owner.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, is that a thing where the police have to keep it because it's evidence? I don't know. Hopefully they either got it back or will. But yeah, so I was gonna say, so I did ride up with Gary, my buddy, and if you want to, okay, it was a 1-on-1. So there, I mean, something was easy tradeable. It's kind of like when people steal mail and it's a PSA card, and then they go to try to sell it on eBay, and the serial number's there. And
Right.
anyway, so I did ride up with my buddy Gary, who he posted his video this afternoon. He is Elbow Sausage on here, and actually that was going to be my shout out. So we just, I guess, talk about that real quick. You got that there you can throw out? But Gary, he's got. I know. I kind of swerved you there. My bad. After hours.
Not after hours.
There we go. Yeah, we're not talking about the card show after dark. Ain't none of that business happening. But yeah, so he's got 366 subs. He's a local guy. He lives like 10 minutes from me. So any of y'all that don't follow him, maybe take a look at his videos, see if you're willing to give him a sub. He'll post a couple times a month on average. He's not super active. You're not going to get the one was going to use first today that I'm going to postpone until next week. He posts daily. Gary's only going to post a time or two a month. But he is actually working on the 85 top set, but autographed. And like I said, I'm going to encourage you to go over and watch his video. He picked up a big card for that autograph set. He's picked up this year. He's picked up probably going to be easily the 5 toughest or 5 most expensive, if not 2 of the top 3. So I'm not going to spoil it and tell you what it was, but maybe you guys will go over there and take a look at it. But yeah, he picked up one of them yesterday, made a trade for it, so I didn't spend any out-of-pocket money, which was awesome. He's got a sentimental attachment to that set with his dad. He's written about it on my website. So, but yeah, that's one of his big collecting things. And then he also collects he's into wrestling and stuff as well. So hopefully y'all will give him a look.
So you said he's collecting the 85 set autographed. So I'm assuming he already has a set completed. He's just sending them out through the mail.
I think he's got a complete set. I don't remember what the actual method is. He may have a complete one and he's getting a second one. I can't remember 100%, but yeah, he's working on that, and he's still got some that he can, that are just TTMs and stuff. So he's working on it. He's not overly aggressive, I should say, because I know in his video today he had another return or a couple returns, TTM returns for that set. But the one he picked up, the 2 he's picked up so far this year were, I believe, both certified by Beckett Authentication, and I know they were slabs. So, but yeah, hopefully y'all can go check that out and check his channel out. But I also I got to chat with Andy. Some of you know him as she blinded me with refractors. I didn't actually know he was coming down. He lives up in Oklahoma. It didn't seem like really many people, from the YouTube community were coming. It wasn't coming like the last show, but ran into him that morning or Sunday morning when I was sitting out in the hallway. Obviously, I got to talk to Rich, Brad, and then Dr. Beckett was in the room with Rich and Brad at one point. So talked to Dr. Beckett for a couple of minutes. Got to come out and meet Dr. Beckett.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah,
well, you've met him before. You've met him before. I know you was at the dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Had you met him prior to that?
I had met him more of a Rich saying, "Hi, this is hey Jim, this is," because they're good buddies because they worked together for so many years. Before that, it was I'd met him, shook his hand. It was kind of a Jim, this is Ken, blah blah blah, and then I said something to him at another show. I was right when he started his podcast, and I was telling him that I was listening to it daily and loved it and all that. So, but he knows my name now. Like I went up and said hello because he was talking to a dealer, but it's a local dealer that he also knows well. I was like, well, I'm not going to interrupt. And Rich is like, no, just go up and say something. So I went up and said, sorry to interrupt, but Rich said I should. So I just wanted to say hi. And, he knew my name. He knew me by name and everything. So, I got to admit that made me feel good. Of course, maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe he remembers me from too well from the dinner. But so a couple of the other things I was just going to mention, and Brad had a good recap today, this morning on his show, or this afternoon. I can't remember when he went live exactly. I know later than normal. I will say it was a little disappointing that on Sunday it seemed I don't know. I'm going to say between 10 and 20. So let's say 15% of the tables were just empty. There was nobody there. It kind of almost has me wondering, maybe should I start going on a Sunday, just pack up the car with my stuff and be like, hey, Kyle, you got some tables that aren't going to be here? You take $20 for me to set up? He gets $20 for the end of the show, kitty. And, you have a couple less empty tables, because empty tables look back. Hey, Gary. Yeah, it's a good time, man. Can't wait to do it again. But yeah, so y'all go on over and check out that video. What's up?
So I got a question about that, because I heard Brad mention that there was a lot of empty tables. So was that just like because everybody left earlier, or was that tables that just never was filled?
Well,
you only went on Sunday, so you probably wouldn't know, but
I'm going to assume that it was people that just left early. I did hear there were a lot of people that didn't come back for Sunday. I mean, a lot of them had had cases on them because, and I didn't know this until today, but you can rent cases from the promoter. They're doing one table, they're flying in with their Pelican case, and they're setting up. Well, they don't, they're not gonna. It's a lot of work to, more expensive to get a case down there. So apparently, you can rent a case from the show promoter for $50. So. But that's good for the show. That's good for the promoter too, and that's smart business. Especially, like I said, when guys are coming in and they're setting up one table with like less than 100 cards, they're trying to get a case in there is not trying to get that through an airport because they're flying, they're not driving. I'm going to assume it was just people that didn't come back for Sunday for whatever reason. Like I said, a lot of them did have the cases on them, which leads me to believe those were folks that rented. We should rent some cases next time. Oh, man, rent some out or rent some from him, because I got 3 cases. But I don't do shows. Funny how that works.
Back in the early 90s, when things was kind of booming with the junk wax, I was doing, after I closed my store down here, I told you I was doing flea markets and stuff just to kind of get rid of some excess and all. And I kind of ventured into, which I've always been the type to do stuff myself as far as building stuff. It's kind of like my shadow box, instead of buying one, I built one. I got $5 in it. And when I started going to flea markets, I needed cases, like showcases. And I started seeing everybody's got theirs. I'm like, you know what? I can build that for half of what they're selling them for. So I built my own. I built 2 for myself. Well, then it ended up being to where I was doing more business building the cases for other people selling cards than I was doing with the cards.
I'm sure I used to that. So my big case I've had since I was like 17 years old, maybe 16. My dad and I actually built it. And when I say my dad and I built it, I mean he built it and I stood there and watched because I have no skill in that at all. I don't doubt you were, especially then. Now I tell you actually what my other 2 cases are. We were at Hobby Lobby one day and they had the bigger type, like shadow box, not necessarily maybe a shadow box, but something similar to that. It was bigger, and they were like, buy one, get the second half price. So I got 2 of them for I think it was like $60 or something.
Yeah.
So that's where my other 2 came from. I bought them, and I don't think I haven't even set up to show and used them, but I bought them like 2 years ago. But thanks, COVID.
Yeah. So Brad, it's funny you mentioned that because Brad had just texted me and told me he went to Hobby Lobby and picked up some showcases for, I guess, the shows that he has coming up.
I know I've mentioned that somewhere before, and I remember some people saying that's a good idea. I may look into that. I don't remember if it might have even been Brad. I have no idea on that. A couple of the other notes I was just going to read off real quick. Yeah, so the tables, it was interesting. Like I said, I mean, I feel like some of us local guys, if we're not going to set up, I mean, it's like, hey, Kyle, you take $20 for a couple of tables just to fill out the tables. And for the people that do show up, if they're all there all weekend, that's just new inventory on a Sunday to look at. But that's just my thoughts for what it's worth. Take a grain of salt. While I did see some discounting, one thing I noticed, and it's because it's something that I have interest in, the pre-war, specifically 206 stuff, is priced very high. They were very proud of what they had. I saw one of the Cy Youngs. It was an authentic, and the guy was asking $2,000. And I was like, that seems high. So anyway, when I got home, I looked it up, and I mean, it wasn't quite double what going rate is, but he was very high. He was probably, he wasn't quite double going rate. So that was interesting. Coolest thing I saw, I wish I'd had the money for it because I want to get one day, was an 1894 Mayo's plug football card. It's the first football exclusive set. It's some Ivy League schools, and there are actually a couple of there are actually some names in there. One of them is I think a nephew or a grandson of Edgar Allan Poe, and that was actually his name as well. And then I was talking about with a guy yesterday, and he had pointed out that I guess one guy, there's a couple college football Hall of Famers. There was another guy that was a real successful either businessman or politician or lawyer or something like that. So just kind of a fascinating whatever. But the other point I wanted to make is kids at this show. Where are the damn parents? Because these kids are rude. 4 notes here I've got. Interrupting conversations. Like, people will just be talking and kids will just start going up and talking in the middle of it. It's like, hello? Common courtesy here? I'm not talking 5-year-olds. I'm talking 8, 10, old enough to know better, up into teens. Not paying any attention to their surroundings. I mean, we're in tight quarters in this show, and they're not paying a damn bit of attention to where they're going. Now, I will say that's not exclusive to the kids, however. That is a lot of people. But yeah, like backing into you and stuff, it's ridiculous. Leaning on display cases. I mean, again, these are things that I can understand that maybe an 8 or 10-year-old shouldn't know, but where the hell's the parents? And then the last one, I saw a kid pick up stuff at a table and take over to show his dad, who was like 4 tables down. Come on.
Yeah, that's, I mean,
I dumbfounded, absolutely dumbfounded. And maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just the way I was raised. I'm pretty sure I didn't do that kind of stuff. And if I did, my mom would have backhanded me with her ring hand.
You think?
Right. Step off soapbox.
Nah, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Which I mean, that's always been the case. I can remember that happened as far back as in the 90s. I mean, you see all the kids and no parents, and the parents come along about the time just in time to snatch them away before you make us see them.
I mean, and like I said, and most of that stuff is like just courtesy stuff. And these kids don't have courtesy. And again, it's not everyone. I acknowledge that. I don't want to make it an all-encompassing statement, but it is a generalization. It's a good percentage. But anyway, like I said, I'm stepping off my soapbox now.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the tweet where about the 2022 Topps design.
Okay. Yeah, the kids have poke me man fever. I mean, it is what it is. And I think I heard Brad saying he did try to kind of separate some of those folks a little bit better, which I think is a fantastic idea. If you have 10 vendors that are, predominantly Pokemon or gaming, I think that's a great idea to put those guys together. I think it's good for the dealer. Maybe it's bad for the dealers. Who knows? But it's definitely good for the consumers, I think, to be able to be in that area and able to look at so many different things. And, especially when you're talking, this is a sports card show. If you're going there for Pokemon, you are in the minority. Now, I know there are also gaming card shows where the sports cards are in the minority. So kind of same thing. Yeah. Yes, and I admit there are adults, but the percentage of adults that are like that are lower than the kids. But maybe it's those adults, maybe those are the parents of the kids. Who knows?
Yeah. And back to, I want to mention one thing. I posted in chat. We were talking about the display cases. Back when I was doing the shows, and especially because like I said, I was doing flea markets and had done a few fall festivals. Which the fall festivals back in the 90s was like, because like especially in the town over for me, Royston, where Royston, Georgia, where Ty Cobb was from. You set up a table with of cards out there, and people will just hoard you. I mean, like they're just flocking to the table, and of course, all of them looking for Ty Cobbs. But I used to use I call it a tower, but it was like a stand and it was self built. It took up 6 inches of my table space, but it was like 8 rows high, and it had a slot in it that the top loader stood in, and they would just stand straight up. Like I said, you put 3 of those across a 6-foot table, and you could get anywhere from 200 to 250 cards in a 6-inch by 6-foot space, and left everything in the front open. And that to me was a pretty good idea. Which, I mean, like I said, today you wouldn't get slabs in it; it'd have to be a top loader. No. But back then it wasn't no such thing.
That might help. Might help with theft too. But I'm guessing graded is more of an issue with theft. Oh. And yeah, Gary did point out something else there. I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be in the old days, but yes, I mean, there were some smelly people in there. Come on, people. Really? But I will say at the same time, I mean, it's not like this is unique to our show here or anything. I mean, it's pretty common occurrence, but yeah, I was going to say it seems like every national, what to do podcast or video you've seen about the national, every one of them mentions bring deodorant. You're absolutely correct. I mean, everybody does it.
Comfortable shoes, deodorant, and a backpack. That seems to be the running census for what to bring.
I mean, let's call it what it is. It only takes 10 people to not wear it, and man, that can get really, really bad really fast. Ugh.
Oh yeah. So real quick, what do we think of? Oh yeah, where are we at? The new Topps design for 2022.
You want to go first? You're the baseball guy, or do you want me as the non-baseball guy to go first?
I love it. I mean, they kept the borders, and they made the font for the player's name a lot more legible. I mean, to me, that's it's a big improvement over what they pulled this year. They ain't got all the unnecessary script on the photo, and which, like I said, I love it. White borders, white borders, big font. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. So I do not like the 2021 design. I do agree exactly with what you said, that it's much more clear. I mean, I'm on a smaller screen monitor as it is, and I can still read Wander Franco there.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to read that on the 2021. There's no doubt. So, my first initial thought on it though is the same as 2021, and that it just looks very Bowman to me. Right, wrong, or indifferent, it looks like a Bowman design, and maybe that is because apparently we're going back to full borders on flagship tops, which right or wrong, but I will say that in general, it does make it easier to spot your parallels and things like that. And I don't hate borders at all. I think maybe though being white kind of makes it very Bowmanish, because I mean, let's be honest, Bowman's kind of really look the same for, what are we talking, a decade now?
Right.
You can't even tell a lot of the designs apart anymore, and it's kind of the same thing with, kind of seems like the way we're going back with the tops. But that's my opinion. I'm sure that if I was a baseball guy buying modern baseball, I'd have more opinions because of, like you said, like I said, of like parallels or things like that. I know there have been some parallels recently in the last few years that, it's been a little harder to pick up on with full, the lack of borders, whether it be, any border or half borders or whatever. But definitely an improvement over last year, just based on the fact that I'm an old man and I can definitely read these a lot better.
Yeah. And I didn't even realize this when I was looking at the image earlier. But it says it, but right here about it has prominently features the partial baseball icon in the team logo. I didn't even realize that. I'm trying to figure out this one. What is this some sort of parallel, or?
I'm going to guess it's probably an insert of some sort.
Because I didn't see this one in the original design. I didn't know if this may have been
that's one of the old designs from like 7-8 years ago.
I was gonna say it kind of has a 2012 feel.
Oh, is that not the exact design though? I thought that was the exact design, but again, I totally acknowledge that I'm not collecting modern baseball, so I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat can verify.
Yeah, Gary says 2012. I knew it kind of resembled it, but and it may be the exact design. But
I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't open up any I didn't open up any articles or anything. Again, just something I'm not too interested in, but I did see, the initial tweet from Topps, because Topps gives you the design for the next year. That's big hobby news that day, no doubt.
And Diego said a throwback insert for 2013. So hold on, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is.
We're not on any schedule. That's 12. Yep, 2013.
Is it the same design, or is it just very similar?
Nope, that's it. Here's
okay.
Here you go. Let me see if I can do this, if it makes it any better.
Okay, yeah, it is definitely the same.
2013. So you was right the first time, Diego. I knew it was right in that area, but yeah, because this is 2012. Where's it at? Right here. This is the 2012.
Yeah, everything just seems so similar the last 10 years or so, other than, especially the ones that have the white borders, they all kind of run together. I get that maybe we're not going to get colored borders, like 86, 87. We're not going to get stuff like that probably anymore because of the amount of parallels they do. They already pretty much make every color possible in a parallel. So if you use your colors of parallels as a normal border, but I tell you what would be cool about having a colored border of some sort. You might not have 100,000 PSA 10s of the rookie cards, because some of them are going to come out of packs not PSA 10 worthy.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, and they did the last year they had kind of had a run of white borders up until 2014. And then I think 2015 was the last year they used borders up until this year. But it was like a blue, it was like a bluish speckled border on the 15. So they stayed away from it for about 5 years and then come back. Maybe they'll go into some different colors, as long as it's not black.
Yeah, but can you imagine the PSA, the pop reports on black borders? But again,
I guess that could go for any dark border, not just black. If they try to use red or blue
but black is going to be the most condition sensitive. The darker, the better. But can you even use a black border now? Like I said, because you have those black border parallels already that are numbered out of like 60 something. So you've already got that. Now they haven't done I don't know if they've done the blues, because they haven't done the Walmart and Target exclusives in a few years, but they probably still have blue borders, red borders. And if these are standards that you do, and they're doing so many of these, you cut out one of the things you can use unless your parallel is the white border.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they did the parallels without borders. So,
on the Heritage from last year.
Well, no, just the 2000 19 and 18 cards, they had the parallels on those, the colored parallels without borders. They were harder to distinguish, but
and that's what I was getting at earlier when I was saying that's the thing I do like about the white borders is that it does make those color parallels a lot easier to distinguish. And especially, if you're a team collector, like I have to go back to Blackhawk stuff, but I like to collect Blackhawk stuff, parallels in red, black borders. So if you're an A's collector, you want the green. I always use that one because that one kind of stands out. You're going to want navy, red, things like that if you're going to do a parallel for the Braves. JT's going to JT, I think, likes the orange ones on his Miggies, I'm pretty sure. Navy would probably be good as well. But I think in general, I think most people like the team color parallels that match the team color.
Yep. This was, and this has nothing to do with what we were just talking about, but this was in the stuff that you sent me, which is the design that Topps is bringing back for updates. So that might be pretty good just as a throwback.
I do like those because those are coming in update, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I do like those cards. Who was that? Was that a Carlos Baerga?
Yep.
I said okay. I was trying to it looks like an infielder pose, and I couldn't remember. Yeah, I thought that you were a big fan of those, JT. I mean, it's just one of those. Then the problem becomes. I think oranges are typically lower numbered, aren't they? Usually like the 15 or something like so. That makes it difficult as well. If you're a team that, I know in hockey Upper Deck for a while would do emeralds out of 5. Well, that's green. So if your team color was green, which off the top of my head, I'm not thinking of anybody, but that makes it difficult if your team happens to be the color that is the 5, 10, 25, stuff like that. So,
Yep. What is it? Like red? Is red 5?
Yeah. I will
remember.
defer to JT on that one just because he sees so many cards. He probably knows this, but that actually sounds kind of right now that you say it. But yeah, so that's going to make you putting together a Braves red parallel set. I mean, let's just be honest. With Acuna being one of the top players in the game and Freeman being an MVP, it's going to be damn near impossible to put that together. But if it was numbered out of 299, yeah, you can do that.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay, so there's both red.
Yeah, so no reds for me because I usually won't try to get below. Well, I typically below 25. Occasionally, I did dip down to 10 with the clear last year, but
okay. So Jason has a good rundown. I did want to say too. I did want to mention something Diego said. I will say that I do agree. He said the chromes will look nice. I do think refractors look better when there's a border. I don't know if it's just my imagination, but I do feel like they look a little bit better the years they have border. So I think that's a great call, Diego. Yeah, so JT, like I said, he had that breakdown that they're, typically I think they're usually consistent, and I think Panini tries to be consistent, but they do both kind of dick it up every once in a while. But that does make it tough if you're orange, in his case, he's a Miggy collector. If he was trying to collect all the Tigers, now there's only 25 of each of them. That task is a little more cost prohibitive, especially if you're working on other projects as well.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, real quick, what I got on my mind, you did the YouTube shout out, and I didn't have one, but one thing I did want to do was, and I think most everybody is in here. Maybe if they're not, they'll watch this. But the guys that stepped in Saturday night, JT was one of them. Peeps was one of them. Diego. We had KBO in there. Not KBO. Korean Cardboard, Dan. And I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Who am I forgetting?
Boomslang was in there. Did you say him?
Yeah, Boomslang come in. Yep.
He was in there for a little bit. It was you, JT, Dan were across the top at one point, and then Diego, Peeps. Yeah, and there was the sixth. There was the sixth Boomslang.
Yep,
Yeah, you
yep.
never had 7. You had 6, I think, was the most you had. But yeah, you guys, that was a really good show. I enjoyed it. I listened to it today while I was working.
But I just want to tell them that I appreciate it, and that every one of them they're welcome back anytime. We will, obviously we'll, as it fills up or whatever, we'll have to swap people in and out. But I don't, being filled up hadn't really been an issue except for on the first one. So
yeah, and I've said, if it's nice to hear different opinions from different people, not necessarily hear the same people every week. I've told you that, if you're, you can do 10 or you can do 9, whatever it is. If you get one past that, I am happy to step out. Y'all are it for 4 or 5 hours of me a month. I think you probably got more than you can handle as is. So I am happy to step out and let anybody that wants to be in there get in there. And, like I said, I can just enjoy listening to it and being in the chat.
Right.
And you don't have to see my face.
Yep. And I'm going to work on that too. I'm going to work on that too, as far as, trying to just kind of incorporate a couple of different people each time. Just so, it can get kind of monotonous and trying to do it every month. And like you said, like everybody else has said, it's summertime. People want to get out and do stuff. They want to do other stuff. And I understand that. That's perfectly fine. To be honest with you, next month I might be a little iffy because next month we have 2 grandbabies due. So I don't know what day that's going to fall on. It may fall on that weekend. So if it does, I definitely won't be around. But
well, you know how you said earlier that you have a good group of guys that follow your breaks. We have a great group here. Missing a month is not, that's, you got family things. Missing a month, or we've missed a couple weeks, in the last few months. These guys aren't going anywhere. These guys are our friends. We comment on everybody's videos. We watch videos. So missing one every once in a while, to me, I know everybody preaches, be regular. But, things happen. It is what it is. And we have a great group of guys that, pretty much join us every Monday.
Right.
And those guys are going to be here if we miss one.
That's right. And we got a few that reach out and want to know where we at. We're not here. That's good too, because at least you know that they're looking for you. So
yeah. I think we both usually put the tweets out, but you know how fast Twitter moves, and if you're following, 1,000 people, 3 minutes, that thing's gone. You're never going to see it. So yeah, the only thing I want, this household is excited for the Olympics, or is your household excited for the Olympics?
If it had been under regular conditions, I would be. I don't know about this year. I love watching them. Don't get me wrong. We love watching them. We will watch them. But I'm just kind of wondering how it's going to work out with the way things seem to be going down.
Yeah, it's one of those things, can't really worry about too much. I think the thing that's going to be toughest for us a little bit, and it would be everybody here in the States, is that most of that stuff is going on live overnight. And
right.
we're in the social media age where, how many social media sites are many of us on, and you're going to see it before you even get the chance to watch it. So that kind of stinks. But I think we get a little more excited in this house. We get a little more excited for the Winter Olympics, but definitely looking forward to the Summer Olympics. Yeah, we're not going to be watching much of anything else for the next couple weeks.
Right. Yeah, and I'm with you. On the Summer Olympics, we watched the women's gymnastics because my little girl, she's in the tumbling and acro gymnastics, so we watched that with her. Some of the track and field, like the 100-yard, some of the sprint stuff, the shorter stuff, we'll watch. Swimming, we'll watch, especially back when Michael Phelps was like ruling the pool.
I think it is kind of those ones you mentioned are the same ones, that we're excited about. I think it ends up summer or winter Olympics. It is kind of the same handful of ones. You didn't mention yet because I cut you off. You didn't mention diving, so the swimming, diving are ones that always love watching those. Some of the track and field, yes, we'll probably watch almost every damn gymnastics one. Last time my wife let me watch a little bit of women's beach volleyball, but my favorite beach volleyball player has retired, so I don't know if I'm going to be that into it this year.
Who?
I don't even know what her name was, but she was from somewhere in Europe.
Oh, okay. We watched some of the beach volleyball back when oh Lord, what was their names? The US team, the women's US team was like dominating like beach volleyball from start to finish.
Actually, I mean, I like volleyball, so I'll watch any volleyball I can watch, whether it's the indoor or the outdoor. I just enjoy volleyball. I enjoyed playing it, even though it's not like I was good. I mean, I'm short and fat. I'm biologically, I am not meant to play volleyball.
I knew I liked Diego for some reason. He's talking about the curling. I love watching curling.
I mean, curling has definitely gained popularity the last, decade or so, because I think everybody enjoys I think everybody likes it because everybody feels like they could do that. I think that's
Walsh. She's the one. Yeah,
but anyway, you were talking about was Walsh.
Yeah,
I do remember that. I do remember that name now that you say it.
Yep. But yeah, the curling, man, it's like the first year it came out, I sat and I watched so much of that. I swear, I think I watched every rock get pushed down the ice that year. I don't know. It was like a train wreck. You couldn't quit watching.
I enjoy it. And like I said, I think a lot of it is that all of us look at some of them and we're like, I can do that.
Until you try it.
Well, yes, I don't disagree, but I'm just saying their bodies are a little bit more like mine than some of the than any of the other sports.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're more, like I said, we're more Olympics. He mentioned that. Like, I love bobsled. Any of the downhill skiing, winter. I mean, maybe part of the thing about winter too is I grew up in the north, and in the middle of winter it's cold, so we're not outside anyway. During the summer, we may be outside yelling.
Yep.
Very nice, very nice.
Oh, 2 more years, Diego. What's the deal with that? Are they going to do the Winter Olympics next year, or is it going to get pushed back because?
No, I think it's next year. I mean, I'm sure that if something happens, but yeah, I mean, the plan should really be just this winter. It should be in 6-7 months, right? It's in January, February.
The Summer Olympics were scheduled for 2020, so Winter Olympics should be in 2022. So it'd be next year.
Yeah, next year, but it's the Winter Olympics. They're in like January or February, so we're only talking like 6 months from now.
Yeah, but there's a 2-year span between them, though. That wouldn't be a 2-year
but I don't
span.
I don't think they're not going to redo the whole thing. It's just these ones got pushed back, and then I mean, I haven't heard anything otherwise, but yeah, 2022, and then we'll get right back on. I mean, we've always had them in even years. We don't want to switch to odd years. Yeah, February 2022. So yeah, we're talking 6-7 months from now. We're gonna have Olympics again.
Okay, well, yeah, that's right then. All right,
it's gonna be a damn good year.
Well, yeah, that's right, because 2020 it would have been 2020, so 2 years. It just kind of threw me off, but yeah, so we get to see some curling in February. All right,
we may have to skip some shows in February.
Yeah,
so we can watch the Olympics.
Most of those are during the day, so we can.
I wonder where.
Listen,
where are they?
Where are they? What?
The Winter Olympics. Can somebody tell us?
Yeah, if you know, let us know.
Because I was just thinking of the fact that Japan, being in Japan, they're, pretty off from us. I mean, they're 12-ish hours. I guess neither Dan nor George are with us tonight, but they would be able to probably confirm.
Beijing.
Oh, so it's going to be pretty similar, the time aspect.
Yep. Bo said Beijing too. I Googled it, so yeah. But yeah, we'll watch it. We'll definitely watch it. But one of the things that with my wife, she could not understand. I would DVR all the U.S. like curling matches, or I guess I call them matches, but and go back and watch them when I get home, and it would just eat her alive. She couldn't understand what I got out of it.
So I will say one thing I noticed: if anybody uses apps on their TV, or I mean, I guess it would still work from your laptop or computer. I did notice on the NBC Sports app at the very top right corner when you go in, there's NBC Sports, and then they have an Olympic, almost like a separate Olympic thing where all the Olympic things are. So I don't know how many of those are going to be shown on there because I know they are on a lot of different networks. And I don't know if they're going to, put some on Peacock, how that's going to work. But I did notice there's like a whole different section for Olympics on the NBC Sports app. So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
All right. Well,
I think we hit on all the topics we talked about, right?
Yeah, and we done hit our hour mark. So I guess we'll end it right here. Everybody, we appreciate you joining the chat and sticking with us while we ramble on about whatever comes to mind. If we'd appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up and leave a comment. And those of you that are on YouTube, we'll catch you on your next episodes. So
talk to you soon, guys. Have a great week.
All right, everybody take care.